want to welcome you to our event today. Hey, it's something different. We're talking about connecting and converting in the inbox, but I figured let's look at a real life case study. And what better way to look at a case study than someone who's been really successful with email? Now, you're going to see how we sold $5,000 in hats with just one email during COVID-19. And I'm going to give you some of our tips, tricks, and best practices, really our methodology, so that you can copy our method to try to make sales yourself. And I'm excited today because, listen, we are looking at how we can reach customers, how we can really compel them to buy. And if customers are willing to buy something like a hat, they'll probably buy your product or service too. It's all in how you frame it and how you get in front of them. So I'm going to turn off the camera, but I wanted to say hi. And here we go. I just want to make sure that the audio is clear and it's not garbled. So I'm going to turn off the camera right now, but I'm right here with you. And since we've just met, let me introduce myself. My name is Bryan Caplan. I'm an award-winning email marketing expert. I know, highfalutin, right? But really, we've won awards with our email marketing. We've been doing email marketing for the better part of 10 years, and we are avid email marketers. I really am a fervent believer in email marketing and the return on investment that it brings. Now, I'm also the CEO of Bryan Caplan Marketing. We have offices in Boston and Tampa. We're a full-service marketing agency where we provide everything from web design to email marketing, really full service. We do a little bit of social media. We do local SEO. We do blog content. We're helping with video. We're helping with reviews. Really your one-stop shop. Now, where we are right now and specifically how we're looking, at an economic downturn, I'm trying to give out as much value as I can for free to help business owners really weather the storm. And one thing that we did is we built a marketing community. So I welcome you guys. Join the free marketing community. It's at bryancaplan.com/join. And you'll jump on there. You'll be able to join for free. And the first thing you'll do is you'll build a buyer persona. What's a buyer persona? Well, it's basically your description, your definition of the best possible customer. The person that would get your email marketing in their inbox, that would jump to your website or call you or actually go to your storefront and buy from you without hesitation, without any sort of pushback. That's where you're going to be able to build a buyer persona and understand who you're marketing to. This is something we do with every one of our clients, and it's really important that you do it as well. So today we're going to be jumping into email marketing. Now, again, we're going to talk about how to connect and convert, but I've kind of turned this on its head. I want it to be more current, and I want it to be talking about how email marketing is powerful, and I'm going to prove it. The first thing, I'll show you how email marketing works and the reason why it works, even in a pandemic, even in an economic downturn like we're seeing now. Then we're going to take a look at a case study. Like I said, we sold $5,000 in hats, an accessory. People aren't even going outside, but they bought $5,000 in hats with one email over one weekend. I'm going to show you how. Then I'm going to share some of our insider tips and secrets that you need to know when you're doing your own email. And I'm going to show you how to get started selling in the inbox. And then we'll do a little Q&A. So why email marketing? Why does it matter? Why should we be using it? It's been around forever. And if you talk to different marketers, some marketers are saying it's dead. Some marketers are saying it's still alive and kicking. Well, one that a marketer that I look to as my North Star, as a mentor and someone that is very, very involved in digital marketing and understands it, is Neil Patel. He's been ranked one of the top 10 marketers. He consults companies like Google. And even Neil Patel says email marketing is still going strong today and is possibly the best strategy for your business. I'm going to second that. And I'm going to tell you why, because you're keeping your brand in front of people. And let's look at why email marketing. It's been shown through the Direct Marketing Association. For every $1 you spend on email marketing, there's an average return of $38 and change. And why is that? So people think, okay, I send out an email. How am I getting $38 back? No. Think about it. Once you have someone's email address, you have access to their inner sanctuary. You have access to their pocket, to their desktop, to their tablet. This is where you can send a series of campaigns, not just one. So the beauty of email marketing is that you can duplicate a campaign and send it again and again and again, and just reframe it, use different headlines. Now, by sending emails, you're getting into the inbox and you're bolstering brand visibility and loyalty. People are seeing impressions of your brand, an impression meaning they're seeing your brand in the inbox. The more times you send, the more times they're seeing your brand. It's building what we call brand resonance. A great example of this is if you drive through a neighborhood and let's say there's one real estate agent that's just capitalizing. He or she owns the market in that neighborhood, and you're seeing signs everywhere that says home for sale, home pending, up too late, just sold, and it's all by the same real estate agent. Well, if you're in that area, then brand resonance and the science of that psychology says when you think about a realtor who can sell your home, most likely you're going to think about the realtor that you saw on all of those yard signs. So that's the power of brand visibility in the inbox. And email marketing helps us increase word of mouth referrals. They're digital referrals, but all someone has to do is copy the link and share it in a text, in a social post, or forward the email to their friends in order to get more of that return on investment. So that's how we're really squeezing water from the stone and getting $38 for every $1 you spend on email. Now, the other part of it is that people are using social media. And I believe in social media. I think you need to do it. It's really a necessary evil, right? You need to connect with people. They need to be able to find you on sites like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, whatever is good for your buyer persona. But the difference between email and social media is that in social media, you don't own your followers. You can't bring them with you. You can't say, okay, I'm closing down my Facebook page. I'm going to bring you all to LinkedIn or to Instagram or to Snapchat or to TikTok or any of those. You're basically renting those people, those fans. Whereas with email marketing, you own your list. And email marketing has been shown to have 40 times more effective rate of response than Facebook and Twitter combined, even now. And when we're talking about deliverability, here's the deal. Deliverability is when I press publish or send. So if I'm on social media and I type up a post, I put in a picture or a video, and I press post, the deliverability chance on something like Facebook is 2%. That means I have a 2% chance of my customers, my followers to my page, actually seeing my post on the newsfeed. Whereas if I press send in an email marketing campaign, the deliverability rate is over 90%. And it depends on who you're using. Some email marketing providers have a higher deliverability rate. But let's say we're using something like Constant Contact. That's my go-to. Constant Contact has higher than a 90% deliverability rate. That means when I press send and I send to my list of 500, 5,000, 50,000, I have a 90% chance of getting into their inbox. That's the power of email marketing. So we want to really think about email as a way, as a conduit, as a vehicle for us to connect and get in front of our customers. Now, when it comes to email, there's the science and there's the art. The art of sending email is personalization and segmentation. When you personalize an email, meaning you put in their name or you mention their company, you're going to drive 600% higher transaction rates. Why? Because it's speaking to them. A great example of this, if any of you ever use Amazon, right? And you use Amazon, and with Amazon, what's happening is you're going to be seeing when you log in, you're going to see, hey, welcome John, welcome Brian, welcome Phil, welcome Dan, welcome Susan, welcome Jamie, right? Right away, you feel like, oh, they know me. And then they're suggesting products that I know. Now, this is more Big Brother, and I'm not talking good or bad about Amazon, but of course, they're using data. They're using your buying habits to show you other products you might like to buy. They're very smart with that. That's why they're so successful. But even from an email marketing campaign, you could target a list of people who bought a certain type of coffee from you, or a certain type of apparel, like a t-shirt or a workout shirt, or a certain widget, right? Even a type of pizza. And then you could target them and send a personalized thing saying, hey, Hawaiian pineapple pizza eaters unite. We've got a pineapple packed pizza that you're going to love. Just by doing that, you're going to see an increase in transaction rates because you're speaking to your audience. And it's been shown that visitors from email marketing are 70% more likely to buy than someone that just finds you in a search engine. Here's the difference. When you send to someone in the inbox, they've already given you permission, most likely, unless you're a spammer. They've given you permission. They've opted into your email list. That's great. Whereas if someone's searching on Google, they might just be tire kicking. They're looking around for different things. They don't know your brand yet. So having that affinity, that level of touch, that closeness with a brand, and getting a message in your inbox as a consumer, you're more likely to buy because they already are selling you a bill of goods that you're used to. You already trust them. You've already given them your money, opened up your wallet, used your credit card, sent them a check, paid cash, whatever it is. So that's where we're seeing email marketing is much more effective in driving the conversions and driving the buys. Okay. So the proofs and the puddings, I could tell you stats all day, but I'm not an encyclopedia. I'm not going to do that. But you understand that email marketing is powerful. And these stats it's been research that's done over the years with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of campaigns, email campaigns. An email campaign meaning when we send one email out to a list of people. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a case study. And in this case study, I'm going to show you how we created one email, we reframed it, repackaged it, sent it out 4 times, and we were able to drive $5,000 of sales from a hat store during this pandemic. Now, think to yourself, who buys hats? Well, of course, hat lovers. But wouldn't they buy hats if they can go show them off outdoors? And a lot of us are stay at home right now. A lot of us are under a stay at home order. So why would we buy a new hat? Well, because the science of email marketing and the whole approach that we took. So let me show you this case study. So meet Meyer the Hatter. Meyer the Hatter is the largest hat store in the South and the oldest hat store in New Orleans. They've been around for a long time. They've been a wonderful client. We've been working with them for years. And here's the deal. Like many businesses, their sales were crippled because of temporary closures. So what did they do? They pivoted. Instead of saying, oh, woe is me, I can't do this. They have a product. They figured out how to start sending it. They pivoted to promoting to online shopping, and they started using their online shopping cart. And they promoted through email marketing. So we're using for them constant contact. What we did, our team built the same email, and we used the same email 4 times. We sent it out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to promote a sale. We netted over $5,000 in online sales, with over 40% of those sales, $2,000, coming from the last day, Sunday. So for those of you out there who think, well, I can't send emails to my clients, I can send maybe once a month or once a quarter because I don't want to annoy them. Look, we sent 4 email campaigns to the list, and we got $5,000 in sales. Very few unsubscribes, mind you, because we were reminding them of a sale. We were doing them a service. So let's take a look. Why did it work? Well, first off, there's value in the subject line. Your subject line is a promise of value. Your subject line is telling people why they should open. It's convincing that recipient that the email has information that's going to improve their lives or their business. It's going to satisfy a pain point. Now, we're in COVID-19. We're in a pandemic. We're in an economic downturn. There are people who have lost their jobs. There are people who are on unemployment. People have shuttered their businesses. Maybe some of you are temporarily closed as well. So when we think about ourselves, we're thinking, okay, we've got to rein in the spending. We have to budget. So why would people buy hats? Well, it's because we made them a compelling offer. Look at these subject lines. These are the subject lines we did. First off, 20% off. Thank you for your support. The next day, 20% off. Support NOLA. Support New Orleans. The next day, time is running out, 20% off. And the next day, Sunday, hours left, 20% off. So for you guys, when you're looking at this, think about how we used the same slug. And a slug means we put in something that is consistent with all these subject lines. What do you think is the consistent slug here? That's right, it's 20% off. 20% off is shown in each of these subject lines. We're telling people that we're giving them a savings for clicking this email. And for people who collect hats or love hats, saving 20% is a big deal. That's a lot of money because these hats can range anywhere from $75 to a few $100s. So 20% off is big. Now we changed it up and we move around the 20%. And I'm going to teach you more about subject lines and give you some tips and tricks towards the end of this. But notice 20% off is consistent. And then we're changing the message. We're rallying them around different things. The first one, thank you for your support. Well, we all know we have to support local businesses right now. They're hurting. Every sale matters. So this is playing to the people who want to support local business. The next one, support NOLA. Well, if you're in the New Orleans community or you've been to New Orleans, obviously if they're a customer of Meyer the Hatter, most likely they went to New Orleans, they fell in love with it because of its beautiful charm, architecture, history, people, culture. And we're saying support NOLA, support New Orleans businesses. Then we get to this idea of exclusivity, of time running out, FOMO, fear of missing out. Hey, time's running out, save 20%. And then lastly, hours left. The clock's ticking. You've got to act on this offer. So this works for a product like this, even a widget like a hat. We were able to sell all of these hats, $5,000 worth. And let's think about why. Another reason why it worked is this idea of rapid fire processing. So this is according to an MIT study. What I want you guys to do, blink your eyes. Blink your eye again. And you can see the screen is blinking with you. When you blink your eyes, it takes 300 to 400 milliseconds for each blink of an eye. And you've heard the term in the blink of an eye. Well, to process an image, when you see an image, a picture, a photo, an infographic, whatever, when you see an image, it only takes you 13 milliseconds to process that image. So simple, stupid math, that's nearly 30 images that you can process in the blink of an eye. How crazy is that? Now, let's use rapid fire processing, and I want to see what you guys have to say. What does this image tell you right away? So write in the questions. You guys are, let me turn on the chat. Hold on one second. There you go. I just turned on the chat for you. Hey, write in the chat, what is this image telling you right away? What are you seeing from this image? And what story is it telling you with rapid fire processing? Yeah, I'm seeing some private messages, boxes. Okay, it's telling you boxes. It's telling you we're open. It's telling you we're shipping. It's telling you that we're selling. It's telling you we've got business. All of these things. Dan, moving product. Jamie, yep, product. That's right. So the power of this visual is telling us that we're still alive and kicking. The store is open. Even though you can't come in, we're here wearing our hats and shipping yours. That's the power of the visual. Okay, so we understand the power of visuals. Now let's go a little bit further and think about a compelling offer. So when we're talking about the email campaign, we've talked about the subject line, getting them to open. The subject line conveys value. The imagery, the visuals, tell them what's going on. And it tells them right away what they should be thinking. It tells a story within the blink of an eye. Now we've got to start using some of our copywriting skills, and we've got to think about a compelling offer. So a compelling offer, as you can see, piques the interest of your reader to the point where they need to take action. So in these emails, like I said, we sent 4 email campaigns, very, very similar. We changed the subject line, as you saw. We kept the same image, and then we change around this text, and I've circled it so you can see. First thing, our virtual store is always open. This complements the visual. So going back to that visual, we're open. We're shipping your hats. We're telling them, for those readers, our virtual store is always open. Then you see, I'm offering a full 20% off all orders of 75 plus. Well, most hats cost 75 or more. And like I said, if you get some of the bigger named hats and the good brands, you're paying hundreds. So 20% off is a huge windfall for someone that loves hats. So we're giving a compelling offer of 20% off. And then we're reminding them of that offer again, right here. Take 20% off orders of 75 plus. There's the promo code. And notice how we have an expiration date. A compelling offer is telling them it's really incentivizing them to do something. And that compelling offer is telling them why they need to take action now. So we can see that compelling offer, save 20%. We also have to add in a call to action. Now, it's not just enough. Let's say that this button wasn't here. I'm going back. If we say take 20% off Easter 20, I see a lot of business owners who will send an email like this. Hey, we've got a great course. Come and join us. No link. Hey, we're going to have this big sale. It's on February 14th. No event registration. Hey, join us now. We have a virtual session. No link to join the Zoom chat. All of these things, what these business owners are doing, what a critical mistake that they're making is they're not telling people how to take advantage of the offer. So that's where the call to action comes in. The call to action, also known as a CTA, is when you instruct consumers to take an action. Very simple. Now, think about it. If any of you have kids, then you use calls to action all the time. For instance, last night, I made dinner. I made spaghetti and meatballs for my kids, Olivia and Bryce. Olivia's 5, Bryce is 3. Olivia is a picky eater. Bryce is a pickier eater. But if I can get one of them to eat, then the other will follow suit. So what do? I make a call to action. Hey, guys, time to eat. Okay, they don't listen. Hey, guys, listen. And I make a compelling offer. Hey, guys, listen. If you can eat your spaghetti and meatballs, then afterwards we can have a snack. We still have some of that cake left over. How does that sound? Oh, their eyes light up. Don't you know? Their eyes light up, and all of a sudden they're shoveling down spaghetti and meatballs. And that's where the call to action comes in. Eat now, and you'll get this later. So in this case, we've got a call to action, which is a button that says shop now and get 20% off. Here's what we've found through research. Using buttons is more effective than just having a text link. Now, having text links helps, but you're also assuming that people read. A lot of people skim. They won't read this whole paragraph right here. Today is the last day that we're offering. We put that for people who are more efficiency driven. They want to read everything. They want to do their due diligence and figure out what the deal is. So we put that text for them. But what do? We assume, hey, thank you for supporting small businesses like ours through these very trying times. Little sentimental push. They're going to read that. And then they're going to see this afterwards. Take 20% off orders, Easter 20. And then they're going to see this big button, shop now and get 20% off. So we're using a call to action. We're being very clear. Here's how you take advantage of this offer we've given you. So before I move forward, how are we feeling? Is this making sense for you guys? Are you seeing how I dissected that email and the different aspects of that email, the different elements and how they can work to drive $5,000 in sales of hats during COVID-19? So yeah, I'm getting some yeses. Some of you are using the public chat. Great. I see some private. Awesome. I'm glad you guys are seeing it. Good. Now, we've talked about the power of email, why it works. We've talked about the email campaign that we sent out and I dissected it. Now, here's where I want you to really pay attention. And I'm going to go slow. I'm not recording this session, okay? So I'm going to go slow. I want you guys to write down some of these notes. And if you have questions after, you can email me. I'll answer you. But I'm not sharing these slides. I'm not doing a recording, just so you know. So I'm going to share some expert tips and secrets that we use as people that have been doing email marketing for 10 years to drive these types of sales, to drive these actions from consumers. And one of the first things is subject lines. So when we're talking about subject lines, again, a subject line conveys the value in an email. A subject line is telling people why they need to open. Subject lines are really important. They basically make up about 50% of the value or 50% of the motivation for someone to open your email. So when we're talking about subject lines, keep it short, 40 to 50 characters. If we look back, and if I jump back, which I will right now, when we're talking about subject lines, these are short subject lines. They're bolded in the inbox, as you can see right here. They're bolded, but they're short. They get right to the point because you only have a couple seconds for people to make a decision if they want to work with you. So subject lines need to be short and sweet, 40 to 50 characters. Avoid being too wordy or long-winded. Think about this. The average consumer is receiving anywhere from 40 to 70 emails a day. Now, granted, those emails might go to spam. Some emails might go to a different tab if they have the tabs open in Gmail. I get that. But they're still seeing an inundation. They're still seeing an inundation of emails in their inbox, different line items in the inbox. We have to stand out. We have to make a compelling offer. So 40 to 50 characters, avoid being too wordy. Number 2, use a subject line slug. The subject line slug immediately identifies the contents of the email. So for instance, we used 20% off. Just talking about the subject line, we used 20% off. And you notice that in each of the subject lines we showed. If you use a word like video, it's actually been shown through research that you can see a bump of about 18% open rate because people love video. Nearly 90% of all internet traffic is video. That includes YouTube, that includes Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Go, all of them. But people are consuming video at an incredible clip. When I'm talking to people and asking them, what's one marketing channel that you want to start exploring? People are telling me video. So if you have the word video, write this down. Using the word video in brackets, like I'm showing you here, in moderation, of course, every once in a while, that's going to give you a bump in your open rate because people are going to say, oh, wow, quick video. I don't have to read. I'll click it. I'll figure out what they're talking about. So you're getting their attention. When we're doing a sale, when we're doing a promotion, which again, you don't want to do a promotion all the time. Think about companies like Bed Bath & Beyond or Kohl's or Joseph A. Bank. They always have a coupon code. Well, if you really think about it and kind of deduce, their prices are always marked up. That's why they can give you the coupon code. So use it sparingly. Use these different types of slugs sparingly, but 20% off or 15% off or secret sale or spring sale or stay at home sale. Those are great slugs that you can use to get people's attention, to get them to open your email. And then consider personalizing. Like I said, personalization has been shown to increase likelihood of buys by 600%. If you're personalizing, you're mentioning their name in the subject line or their business name, you're speaking right to them. You're not saying, hi, I saw your business. You're saying, hey, I saw Acme Company, or hey, Jim, or hey, Phil, or hey, Dan, or hey, Melissa, hey, Jamie, hey, Anna, any of those. What you're doing is you're creating a one-to-one perception. Even though email marketing is something where you can press send and it sends out to 5,000 people at once, you're using the tool correctly to create a one-to-one perception, like you're talking to only them. If you're talking to only them and you're not doing a shotgun approach, they're more apt to listen to you, to read your compelling offer, and to follow your call to action. So my suggestion here, add a first name or a business name to your subject line. A first name or a business name to your subject line. When you're using certain tools, again, I go back to Constant Contact because that's my go-to. When we use Constant Contact, what we do is we use a custom greeting or a first name tag, and we pop that into the subject line. That really helps because people see their name, they're going to click on their name. Everybody cares about themselves. What's in it for me? You've heard that. With them. What's in it for me? That's what we want to do. We want to say, what's in it for you? So those are some subject line tips. I did see a question, is a secondary line use the coupon code? Yes. So if I shoot back and I go right here, notice how this is a secondary line. In certain email marketing platforms, you can create what's called preview text or a preview header. So I have hours left, 20%, and then this preview text starts saying use code Easter20. That right there makes it easy. If people don't want to read the email and they just want to jump right to meyerthehatter.com, they know they can use the code and they'll get 20% off. Some people are like that. Some people are going to click and then go into the email and then click the link, copy the code, so on and so forth. So then we've got the idea of visual content. With visual content, here's my first and my most solemn thing that you need to do. This is critical. Do not use Google Images. Don't use Google Images. It's with Google Images. It's not clear if you have the license to use it. So if you go on Google and you search for an image, let's say you're searching for a marketing image or credit card or shopping or pizza or whatever. Listen, there are some people, there are some graphic artists or some photographers who this is the way that they make money. And Google has indexed those images to show you them, but Google hasn't indexed those images for you to actually use them. Instead, what you want to do is you want to use other royalty-free sites, and I'll share a few in a second. I'm going to tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, my business is doing events. That's what we do. We have a marketing agency, but my part of the business is doing events. I'm a speaker for Grow with Google. I present on these types of topics as well, basically digital marketing. So that's my business. Well, I had a virtual assistant, and the virtual assistant, I asked this person, hey, okay, add these events to our website and then choose a photo. Here are some sites you can choose photos from. And I gave a specific list. The virtual assistant was short on time, went to Google Images, grabbed an image that said marketing, popped it up on the website. A couple months later, I get a letter saying, hey, you used my image and I'm suing you. Wouldn't you believe that I was being sued for 2 images on the website from Google Images to the tune of $8,000? That, right? If any of you have ever gotten a cease and desist or a lawsuit notification, it is the worst feeling in the world. It's even worse when you look back at your site and you're like, oh my goodness, this really did happen. And you have no defense. It cost me 3 months and $5,000 to settle, plus the lawyer fees. Avoid nasty, expensive lawsuits. Do not use Google Images. I'm going to show you some sites that you can write down. And that leads me to number 2, know your source. Use and make sure you're using royalty-free images for commercial use and that they have limited or no attribution. I'll go over these 3 things. Royalty-free means that you can use them and you don't have to pay for them. Commercial use, listen, if you're sending out an email and you're trying to drive sales or registrations or anything that has to do with making money, that's commercial use. If you're sending out a personal email to someone, you can just go copy an image and put it out like a regular email from Gmail. That's fine. But if you're broadcasting an email and it's potentially hitting hundreds or thousands of inboxes, you cannot have commercial use. And then when I'm talking about limited or no attribution, make sure if you have to attribute to the designer, make sure you give them credit. That's where you use a caption saying photo courtesy of blah, blah, blah. You can even see at the bottom of this slide, notice how it says image courtesy of cliply.co. In order for me to use this animated GIF right here, I have to have attribution. I have to say image courtesy of cliply.co. So that's limited attribution. Some images will ask for no attribution. You don't have to talk about the designer, and that's fine. And number 3, look right here. You guys have probably been looking at this checkbox, this little circle that keeps spinning. Use animated GIFs sparingly. Now, the industry pronounces them GIFs. You can call them GIFs, whatever you want to do, but use them sparingly. Readers are drawn to the movement. And specifically, if we're talking about science, it's our reptilian brain, which is in the limbic system. And the reptilian brain is drawn to movement. The reptilian brain is what dictates fight or flight. So if we're thinking about this, the reptilian brain all of a sudden sees that motion. It's watching the circle spin and this checkbox go, and it's trying to figure out, what is this? So if you use some animations, you can get people to click on them. When you use animated GIFs or any image, link them to something. So even when I go back and I show you the email that we used right here, this big image that says from the heart of NOLA shows one of the Meyers actually taping up boxes. That links to MeyerTheHatter.com. That links to the storefront. And on the storefront, we had a coupon code right at the top. It says use coupon code Easter20 for 20% off. So every image you use in an email should be linked. Now, here are some different royalty-free commercial use sites that I want you to write down. I have used all of these. I've never had an issue. All industry experts know about these different sites. There are plenty more, but these are some of the prominent sites. So we have Pexels.com, Pexels.com, Unsplash.com, and Pixabay.com. All of them will either have illustrations or graphics, or they'll have photos. You can use any of them. And if you want to start using video at all, you can use Pexels.com, and they have video. So let's say you're getting into editing video, maybe creating YouTube videos and things like that, and you want to include those in your email or on your website. Pexels has free video that you can use as well. So those are great photo, static image sites and or video. And then you have animated GIFs. So right here, you're seeing another image from cliply.co. That's one of the sites. And there's also motionelements.com/free/GIFs. All of these I have already vetted. They're royalty-free, commercial use image sites that you can use for your emails. So I'll give you a second to write these down. So Pexels, Pixabay, Unsplash, motionelements.com, and cliply.co. Okay. Now, I talked about compelling offers. So we've talked about several things. The subject line, right? We've talked about how we should look at different images and why images are important. And we want to talk about compelling offers as well. Again, a compelling offer, what it does is it makes somebody really need to take it. It's inciting this response. It's eliciting a response from them right away. We're giving them such a good deal. We're giving them something that won't last long. So they have to click the button. They have to take action. First thing you want to do is speak to your audience. Know your audience. Resolve a pain point. What are they feeling right now? So listen, why did we sell 5,000 hats during a pandemic? Because people wanted to have something new. They needed something fresh in their closet. They needed a fresh piece of apparel. They wanted to feel like they were living again, like they were outside. That's where we drew those hat sales. We were resolving a pain point for them, giving them the opportunity to buy something new, make them feel like they were back in New Orleans buying from the store. We leveraged FOMO, fear of missing out. Remember, we had that this deal, this promotion expires at a certain date on a certain time. We want to make sure that we're leveraging FOMO in certain cases. It doesn't always have to be, but if you set an expiration date, it makes people work more, makes them act more. A great example of this would be Groupon. When Groupon first came out, they were so powerful. It was like 2006, 2007, they came out, and then they really started growing big right before 2010. One of the things they did is they said, we only have a limited number of vouchers, and it's only available for a certain amount of days. That's how they became a multi-million-dollar company, because they kept having these exploding offers, this fear of missing out. And it would show you how many other people had bought and how many vouchers were left. The last thing, when you're speaking to your audience, make them feel special, or make them feel like they're a part of a larger community or a part of a larger purpose. If I go back to the email, and I know I'm jumping, but I go back to the email, and let me see here. We're making them feel like they're part of a larger purpose. Now, first off, we're telling them our virtual store is open. We're telling them that they can get an offer, 20% off all orders of 75. We're telling them about our story. We've been family owned 126 years. Think of all the generations that have been in that hat store and have owned that hat store. And now we're thanking them for opening this email, reading our content, and potentially clicking on this button down here for supporting a small business that's been around 126 years through these very trying times where we're close to closing. We're giving them a higher value, a higher purpose. That's part of a compelling offer as well. Now, when we're talking about compelling offers, the other thing we want to do, you can try these different ones. So write these down. First off, get exclusive access, right? You've gotten an email, you've signed up for our email, get exclusive access for this information, this ebook, this sale, right? That's not only, it's a compelling offer you can use in your email, you can also use it in your subject line. Of course, like we did, save X% or X dollars. It all depends on what you're selling. So you have to think, what's the higher value perception? Value perception, how much am I getting for giving you my money? What am I getting back? So if I'm saying save X% and the thing costs, $20, then okay, I'm saving 10%. Well, 10% looks better than save $2. So I'm going to use 10%. Whereas if the thing's $100 and I'm going to save 20% or $20, you can choose either one because it's the same. A great example of this, Staples does this all the time. They'll say, hey, save $15 off. And then you go and you look at the deal. Sometimes it's $15 off 60, which equates to 25%. Sometimes it's $15 off 80, which isn't worth my time. So you're going to look, and consumers are savvy enough that they're going to see how good is this savings? What am I really saving here? Bonus offers. When you buy now, you'll get this. So for another offer that we might do, or that we could consider doing for Meyer the Hatter, listen, they have accessories. They have hat cleaners. They have, little things like microfiber cloths or things like that to clean off the hat, to delint it, little rollers, things like that. Well, hey, if you buy this hat now, buy this $150 hat, we're going to throw in this hat cleaner and this microfiber cloth so that you never have to worry about stains. You can always keep your hat perfect. Okay, well, the value here is more than $150, plus you're going to give me free shipping, plus I'm going to get the hat that I want, and I'm going to be able to keep it clean. Yeah, bonus offer for sure. And exploding offers while supplies last. So you've probably seen this all the time. Hey, buy this certain package, this deal. There's only 10 of them left, and you've got to get it now. Well, most people that advertise that there's 10 left, guess what? There's probably 50 or 100 left, but they're going to make you feel like you were one of the top 10. That's an exploding offer while supplies last, a great way to drive action. And then speaking of that, calls to action. So we created a compelling offer. We created a reason why they need to buy our product or service. Now we have a call to action. The call to action is where we're telling them to do something. So here's my recommendation to you. Test, and test again. Not just measure 2 times, measure 3 or 4 or 5 times and cut once and choose your CTA. Create a bank of CTAs. So I want you, when I'm talking about creating a bank of CTAs, think about your recipients, your audience, your list members. What different words can you use to drive a response, to drive an action? And I want you to write those down. And then what you're going to do is test and tweak those. So you're not always going to just say buy now. You're going to say get it while it lasts, shop now, order now, right? And you're going to tweak those and figure out how you optimize, basically how you're converting and what's working the best. Okay. Number 2, know your audience. If you have different audiences, segment them out. For instance, if you had a younger audience, let's say 18 to 24-year-olds, you could be more tongue-in-cheek, more kitschy, more edgy with them, as opposed to an audience that's 35 to 54. And let's say that I'm a pizza restaurant. Great example. So a pizza place is sending out emails trying to drive deliveries right now or trying to drive curbside pickups. If you're in Massachusetts, there's Bertucci's, and Bertucci's is doing a great job sending out emails reminding you that you can do pickups or you can get free delivery. Well, if they segmented properly, they could talk to 18 to 24-year-old and say, hey, we've got a great deal. You're going to save. And then the button might say, get your grub on, which is under number 3. And then to the older audience, the more esteemed audience, the homeowners, the families that are 35 to 54, it would say feed your family or get the family deal or order now. So we can change our calls to action depending on our audience. That's what we want to do. And expert tip number 3, here are some calls to action that we've seen that work. And of course, they play to different audiences, but add to cart. That's a simple one. Right? People know this, add to cart. They see it on every e-commerce website. If you're promoting a product and you want them to go right to a product page to add it to their cart, use that. Start shopping. This is more like, hey, start exploring our store. Check the virtual aisles, see what you like. Order now. We're telling them, hey, if you click this, you're going to order now. Whereas, like I said, if Bertucci's or Papagino's or any kind of pizza place, Little Caesars, any of those, we're talking to a younger audience, they might say, get your grub on. And I saw that when I was in college from a pizza place and I loved it. I was like, that's brilliant. Register now. Okay, for most webinar platforms, the button usually says register now. It's pretty boring and usually you can't change it. But if I could, I might say grab your spot, grab your seat, take a spot while it lasts, things like that. So these are different calls to action. Feel free to write those down. That's where what we are doing is we're trying those out. We're seeing how they work. We're seeing the number of click-throughs, the percentage of click-throughs, and then we're deeming them either good or bad. And we can keep tweaking. That's the beauty of email marketing. Doesn't cost us anything to tweak, to redo the campaign and try new words. So if we're talking about getting started with email marketing, some of you may be using, there are different platforms, right? There's MailChimp, of course. There's Emma, there's Aweber, there's Infusionsoft, there's Constant Contact. I have been working with Constant Contact for the better part of a decade. I've tried every other one. With MailChimp, here's a couple things, and this is really a true story that happened. Someone was running a sale, and it was like a Memorial Day sale last year. And they were running the sale, and then something happened. Their emails weren't sending out. This was a big sale for them. They were giving a pretty big discount. They were expecting a lot of revenue coming in. Well, they went and contacted support. There's no live people. So they emailed support at MailChimp, and then they got that cookie cutter email. Hey, thank you so much. Your ticket's been added. Someone will reach out to you. They didn't get a response for a day and a half. There went their sale. That was it. So one of the things that why I love Constant Contact is because they have live support. They have actual humans that you can talk to. You can call into a line and talk to someone. You can write to support, and you can actually get someone that's a human being talking to you pretty fast. It's cost effective. A lot of people like MailChimp because it's free. Well, it's not free once you hit a certain amount of sends or a certain amount of contacts. And for Constant Contact, it's $20 a month. Great deliverability. Here's the deal. A lot of people don't understand deliverability, and I'll explain it again. Deliverability is the percentage chance of me pressing send and my email getting into your inbox, right? So the success rate of my email getting to your inbox. So for MailChimp, let's think about it. It's free. For years, MailChimp has been a haven for spammers. Here's what spammers do. They go buy a list. I've seen this again and again, and it still happens. They go buy a list of 10,000, 20,000 people. They break it up into small chunks of 2,500 because that's what's free with MailChimp. They create several accounts in MailChimp, and then they send out the same email through 6, 7, 8 accounts through MailChimp. What does that do? Well, it actually hurts the relationship between MailChimp and a Gmail or a Yahoo or a Comcast or any of those different email service providers, right? Because now the spammer is getting into all these inboxes. People are clicking spam, and that hurts the reputation of the sender, which in this case is MailChimp. Whereas there's a free 60-day trial of Constant Contact. Great, but you can only send to 100 people. You're not really, if you're going to be sending email, you're not going to need a free trial. You're going to really be sending it. The deliverability is higher. The global deliverability is higher because Constant Contact, if you upload a list of 2,500 or 5,000 people and you're brand new, what they do is they actually break down your list. So you'll notice, if you have ever done this before, if you've ever created an account, when you upload, let's say 2,000 people, your email will start sending out in small doses. So it's called parsing the email. So you're going to have 200 send out, then the next hour 200, the next hour 200. And what Constant Contact's doing is it's measuring your amount of unsubscribes, your amount of bounces, and amount of spam trap emails. And if it finds that you have certain amount, you've exceeded a certain amount of unsubscribed spams or spam trap emails, someone's going to contact you and say, hey, listen, we just need to go through a list review to figure out where you got your emails. Now, of course, as the sender, this can be perturbing and whatever, but that's how they're protecting their deliverability and ensuring a higher deliverability, your success chance of getting into the inbox of your audience. They also have beautiful templates. They're constantly creating templates, and I get the question all the time, well, is it mobile responsive? I see people, and I'm going to tell you one more thing that I don't have in the slides, but a little nugget. Never, ever use an email template that has 2 columns. Never. If it's already pre-made with 2 columns, you know what that does? It's going to squish, and it's going to be really ugly and really small, really squished, and people won't like it. What you're going to find in a system like Constant Contact is that it's going to be mobile responsive, meaning that even if you put text next to an image, so the image is on the right, the text is on the left, it's going to show you how it looks in a mobile form. So every email you send out is mobile responsive. Over 53% of all internet traffic is mobile, meaning that people have ditched their laptops or desktop computers. They're just using their smartphones, right? So I'm checking my email on my smartphone. 88% of people are checking their email every single day on their phone. And guess what? With that, we want to make sure that the email looks good. If the email doesn't look good, if it's not aesthetically pleasing, we're finding that people are deleting those emails. 80% of people, according to Constant Contact, delete those emails, and another 30% unsubscribe from the list if the email doesn't look good. So you've got to have a good template. So we're partners. Full disclosure, we're partners with Constant Contact. I've been working with them for the better part of 10 years. I presented for them for 4 years. I know Constant Contact. We love it. Of course, we would get a commission if you signed up. I'm being totally honest. The FTC requires it, but I'm full disclosure. If you want to sign up, though, what our team does is we add value. We create a custom branded email template for you. We'll get you 30% off for the first 3 months, and we'll give you access to our team for any kind of support. So if you have questions about the email campaign about sending out. If there's something that we can help with, we'll send you resources. If we can't, then we email partner support, which is our direct line to real people at Constant Contact, and we'll get the answer for you. So that's how we work. If you're interested, you can email me. It's Bryan@BryanCaplan.com. I don't hide my cards. I tell you, listen, I'm giving this whole presentation for free. Here's the sell. If you want to start emailing and sell $5,000 in hats, here's how you do it. So guys, what I'd like to do now is open it up to questions. We've taken about 50 minutes. We covered a lot of information. I hope you wrote some really good notes. Now's your time. Ask me questions. What do you want to know more about? What questions you have about email marketing? What do you need to know more about your subject line? If you have something you want to throw spitball against the wall, tell me and let's work it out together. We've got a good group here and I'm happy to answer any questions you have. We are going to end it here and I want to give you your afternoon back. Go be successful. Try email marketing or start using some of the tips and tricks I just shared with you. I promise you're going to see that it works. Maybe you're not going to sell $5,000 in hats in your first go, but I know you'll be successful as long as you keep doing it. Hey, until next time, here's to your success and stay well.